Brave souls. Did you know that Poveglia Island, an innocuous speck of land nestled in the Venetian lagoon, holds a chilling secret? This tranquil-looking place, shrouded in the soft mist of the Adriatic Sea, is often referred to as one of the most haunted locations in the world. But what makes Poveglia Island so terrifying? Could it be its dark history peppered with tales of plague, death, and madness? Or perhaps the countless reports of ghostly sightings and eerie phenomena that seem to cling to the island like a spectral fog? This island has intrigued, horrified, and captivated the minds of paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike, earning it a reputation that transcends borders and cultures. So, why has this seemingly insignificant piece of land become a focal point of fear and fascination? Stay with us if you dare as we delve into the eerie past of Poveglia Island. Imagine an island so deadly, it was used to quarantine and bury the victims of the plague. Welcome, brave souls, to Poveglia Island, a place where history and horror intertwine in a chilling dance of death. In the 18th century, the world was gripped by a monstrous nightmare, the plague. As this relentless disease swept through Europe, Poveglia, a small island nestled in the Venetian lagoon, was chosen as a quarantine station, or lazaretto. It was here that those stricken by the plague were sent, isolated from the rest of the world. Imagine the despair of these doomed souls, knowing they were being sent to an island of death. The air would have been thick with fear and the stench of decay as countless individuals succumbed to the disease. But Poveglia's grim tale doesn't end there. The island wasn't just a quarantine station, it was also a mass grave. Tens of thousands of people, both the dead and the dying, were piled onto the island. Their bodies were burned in huge pyres, their ashes mixing with the soil. The very earth of Poveglia is said to be composed of the remains of these plague victims, a chilling testament to its horrifying past. As the plague raged on, the island grew synonymous with death. The screams of the dying filled the air, echoing across the lagoon. Such was the terror associated with Poveglia that it was said, when an oar of a Venetian gondola hits the shore of Poveglia, it strikes the bones of the dead. In this way, Poveglia became a monument to mortality, a chilling reminder of the destructive power of disease. And though the plague has long since abated, the echoes of the past still linger. On Poveglia, the ashes of tens of thousands of plague victims still remain, their silent whispers carried on the wind, a haunting legacy of the island's dark history. From quarantine station, Poveglia morphed into a nightmare of a different kind. As we move into the 20th century, the island took on a new, sinister role. The buildings that once housed plague victims were repurposed into a mental asylum, a place of isolation for those society wished to forget. The asylum was not a sanctuary for the mentally ill, but rather a place of suffering and torment. Rumors circulated of patients being subjected to inhumane treatments and torturous experiments, their cries for mercy lost to the wind that swept across the island. The asylum was shrouded in an air of dread and despair, a dark contrast to the surrounding azure waters of the Venetian lagoon. The most chilling tales revolve around a certain doctor who ran the institution. It was said that he performed brutal lobotomies using crude tools and no anesthesia. His methods were driven by a morbid fascination rather than a desire to heal. The torment inflicted by this doctor was so severe that it is said to have driven him to madness. Overwhelmed by guilt or possibly haunted by his victims, he threw himself from the island's bell tower, adding one more soul to Poveglia's collection. As the asylum eventually closed its doors, it left behind a legacy of pain and torment. Those brave or foolish enough to step foot on the island today speak of an oppressive atmosphere, a lingering sense of dread that clings to the decaying buildings. Some claim to hear faint whispers and cries, echoes of the past that refuse to be silenced. Every stone, every crumbling wall of Poveglia holds a story of despair. The asylum, once a place of torture and death, now stands as a grim monument to human suffering. Despite the passage of time, the island has never truly shed its dark past. The screams of the tormented still echo in the abandoned corridors of the asylum. Even today, Poveglia whispers its tales of horror to those who dare to listen. Each chilling tale is a testament to the island's grim history, a reminder of the time when Poveglia was an asylum of horrors. The island, they say, is alive with the restless spirits of its tragic past. Poveglia's history, steeped in death and suffering, has given rise to chilling tales of ghostly encounters and paranormal activity. The spirits of the plague victims, they say, wander the island in eternal torment. Visitors have reported hearing disembodied coughs and cries, echoes of the suffering endured by those buried in mass graves. It's as if their souls are trapped, forever reliving their final agonizing moments. Then there are the ghosts of the asylum patients, victims of brutal experiments and inhumane conditions. Their spectral forms are said to lurk in the shadows, their anguished voices whispering in the wind. Some even claim to have seen apparitions of chained patients, the ethereal remnants of their shackles still clinging to their phantasmal bodies. But perhaps the most famous tale is that of the mad doctor who, driven to insanity by the spirits of his tormented patients, leapt from the bell tower. His ghost, it is said, still haunts the tower, and on quiet nights, the sound of a phantom bell can be heard tolling across the island. Professional ghost hunters and curious adventurers alike have reported strange phenomena during their visits. From unexplainable cold spots and sudden feelings of dread, to shadowy figures darting in the periphery and eerie voices echoing through the deserted buildings. Many of these encounters have been documented, adding to the growing body of evidence that suggests Poveglia is a hotbed of paranormal activity. But these accounts are not for the faint of heart. They paint a picture of an island fraught with unrest where the boundary between life and death seems to blur. The spirits of Poveglia, it seems, are not ready to rest. Their stories, etched into the very soil of the island, continue to unfold, captivating and horrifying those brave enough to step foot on its haunted shores. Poveglia's dark allure has seeped into popular culture, drawing the curious and the brave. This island, with its eerie past, has gained notoriety in the world of the paranormal and beyond. Its stories of suffering and death, coupled with tales of hauntings, have made it a magnet for those who dare to explore the unknown. Poveglia's infamy has spread far and wide, attracting the attention of paranormal enthusiasts, ghost hunters, and even those simply intrigued by its dark history. Its reputation as one of the world's most haunted places has only been amplified by its appearances in documentaries, books, and paranormal TV shows. Each retelling of its chilling tales adds another layer to the island's enigmatic aura, further solidifying its place in the annals of the supernatural. But what of Poveglia today? The island largely remains abandoned, a silent sentinel in the Venetian lagoon. Despite attempts to sell or develop the island, it remains shrouded in mystery and largely off-limits to the public. It's as if the island itself resists intrusion, adding to its chilling mystique. The allure of Poveglia is not just in its past, but also in its present. The island's current status only fuels the intrigue. The fact that it remains largely untouched, a relic of a bygone era, gives it a timeless quality. It's a tangible reminder of the human capacity for suffering and resilience, and perhaps the existence of the supernatural. Yet, amidst the fascination and fear, there's a poignant reminder of the lives lost and the untold stories that linger within Poveglia's shores. It's a place where history and horror intertwine, where fact meets fiction, and where the living can't help but feel the presence of the dead. Today, Poveglia stands as a chilling testament to human suffering and the supernatural. Its dark history and eerie present continue to draw the brave, the curious, and those seeking to unravel the mysteries that lie within its haunted grounds. Is Poveglia Island truly haunted, or is its reputation a creation of the human mind? Let's delve into some theories. Some paranormal enthusiasts firmly believe that the tortured souls of plague victims and tormented asylum patients are trapped on the island. Their experiences, they claim, are proof of the supernatural. On the other hand, skeptics propose psychological and environmental factors. The island's chilling history, the eeriness of the abandoned buildings, and the isolation could trigger the mind to perceive things that aren't there. After all, fear can play tricks on us, can it? Then there are those who believe in the power of story. They argue that the tales of horror and death have given birth to a legend so potent it feeds our imagination and fear. This could explain the eerie feelings visitors experience. The mystery of Poveglia continues to captivate us, drawing us into its dark and tragic past.